Good morning, students. This is Sivakrishna from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, the Institute of Technology, Kavali. So today I am going to go into presentation of design of mechanical springs. So this is the continuation topic from the second unit. So design of mechanical springs. So second unit is the power screw. So last class we can discuss about the introduction to power screws, types of screw threads used in the power screws, multiple threads, and torque required to raise the load by square threads, torque required to lower load by square thread screw, the efficiency of the square threaded screw, maximum efficiency of the square threaded screw, and finally problems on the square threaded screw. So next this PPT we can go into presentation the continuation for the power design of power systems. So in this PPT we can go into presentation of coefficient of friction and ACME or trapezoidal threads and problems on ACME trapezoidal thread problems. Next is power screws, stresses in power screws. So finally, and materials used in these power screws. Last one and finally problems on power screws. So in this video, I am going to presentation in the power screws and coefficient of friction and ACME threads and trapezoidal thread or power screws problems. So you can let us start the class. We can discuss it one by one. So what is coefficient of friction? The coefficient of friction depends upon the various factors like material of the screw and nut, workmanship is cutting screw, quality of lubrication, unit bearing pressure, and the rubbering speeds. The value of coefficient of friction does not vary much with different combination of material, load or rubbering speed except under starting conditions. The coefficient of friction with a good lubricant and average workmanship may be assumed between 0.10 to 0.15. So coming to the coefficient of friction, it is a good lubricant average workmanship is the range between 0.1 to 0.15. The various values for coefficient of friction for steel screw and cast iron or bronze nut under different conditions are shown in the following table. Just we can see the table what are the different coefficient of frictions under the different conditions. So this table we can discuss about the serial number, condition, average coefficient of friction. So starting one present running. The first one, the condition is high grade materials and workmanship and best running conditions. So by using the high grade materials and workmanship, by running the best running conditions, the average coefficient of friction for starting is 0.14 and running on the coefficient of friction is 0.10. Next coming to the second one, so average quality of material and workmanship and average running conditions. So by using the average material in average working conditions, the coefficient of friction, average coefficient of friction was starting 0.18, so running speed is 0.13. So coming to the third condition, poor workmanship are very slow and in frequent motion with indifferent lubrication or newly machined surface. By average coefficient of friction is by starting condition 0.21 and running condition is 0.15. So this is the coefficient of friction under different conditions. So high grade material, average quality and poor quality. If the thrust collar are used, the value of the coefficient of friction may be taken as shown in the following table. So by applying the thrust collar, the values of the coefficient of friction by seeing the table, the coefficient of friction when the thrust collar is used. So serial number, material, average coefficient of friction, starting and running. So the material soft steel on cast iron. So the material is a soft steel on cast iron. The average coefficient of friction in starting condition is 0.17 and the running is 0.12. Next material hardened steel on cast iron. So then the average coefficient of friction in starting condition 0.15. The running condition is 0.09. Next, the third material is soft steel on bronze. So the average coefficient of friction starting condition 0.10 and the running condition is 0.08. So finally, the hardened steel on bronze. The average starting condition is 0.08. The running condition of coefficient of friction is 0.06. So this is the coefficient of friction when the thrust collar are used in the different materials. So next, ACME or trapezoidal threads. So we know that the normal reaction in case of square thread screw is Rn is equal to W cos theta cos alpha. But in case of ACME or trapezoidal thread, the normal reaction between the screw and nut is increased because the axial component of this normal reaction is must be equal the axial load W. Consider ACME and trapezoidal thread as shown in the figure. So you can see the figure. This is the ACME or trapezoidal threads. So the distance between the center to the upper thread is a beta and the central line to the bottom thread is a beta. The weight W is acting downwards and Rn. So Rn is equal to W cos alpha. Let 2 beta equal to angle of the ACME thread and beta semi angle of the thread. Therefore, Rn is equal to W by cos beta and frictional force F is equal to mu R1 that equal to mu into Rn W by cos beta that equal to mu1 into W, where mu by cos beta is equal to mu1. So we know known as virtual coefficient friction. So mu1 is the virtual coefficient friction. Mu1 equal to mu by cos beta. So note, when coefficient of friction mu1 equal to mu by cos beta is considered, then the ACME thread is equivalent to the square thread. All equations of the square thread screw also hold good for ACME threads. So in case of ACME thread mu1, that is tan pi, may be substituted in the place of mu, that is tan pi, that's the ACME thread. P is equal to W tan alpha plus pi, where pi 1 is the virtual friction angle and tan pi 1 equal to mu 1. So next, problems on ACME thread. The lead screw of a lathe has ACME thread of 50 mm outside diameter and 8 mm pitch. The screw must exert an axial pressure P is given. Axial pressure W equal W is given in order to drive the tool carriage. The thrust is carried on the collar. So outside diameter is given 110 mm and inside diameter also given 45 mm, and the lead screw rotates and speed n is also given 30 rpm. So how to calculate what is the problem you can calculating. So determine the problem required to the drive the screw and the coefficient of lead screw, assuming the coefficient of friction mu equal to 0.15 for the screw and 0.12 for the collar. So the given data, ACME thread outer diameter D naught equal to 50 mm, pitch P equal to 8 mm, and axial pressure W equal to 2500 Newton, and capital D1 outside diameter 1100 mm, or R1 equal to D by 2, R equal to D by 2, R1 equal to D1 by 2. So 110 divided by 2, that equals 55 mm. So dt is equal to 55 mm. That is R2 equal to 27.5 mm. So N equal to 300 rpm. So coefficient of friction mu is equal to tan pi equal to 0.15, and collar mu2 is equal to 0.12. So let us. So first you can calculate the power required for the drive the screw. So we know that mean diameter of the screw D is equal to D naught minus D is equal to D naught minus P by 2. So substituting the values, D naught equal to 50, P equal to 8. 50 minus 8 by 2. So 8 by 2, that equal to 2 for the 8. So 50 minus 4, that equal to 46 mm. So therefore tan alpha is equal to P by pi D. P by pi D, that equal to 8 by pi into 46, that equal to 0.055. So 0.055. Since the angle for ACME thread is 2 beta equal to 29 degrees, or beta equal to 14.5 degrees, therefore virtual coefficient of friction mu1 equal to tan pi 1, that equal to mu by cos beta, that equal to 0.15 by cos 14.5. So substituting the values, so you can calculate the values. Mu1 is equal to 0.155. So we know that the force required to outcome friction at the screw. So P is equal to W tan alpha plus pi 1, that equal to W into tan alpha plus tan pi 1 by 1 minus tan alpha tan pi 1, that equal to W 2500 tan alpha 0.2055 plus tan pi 0.155 divided by 1 minus tan alpha 0.055 into tan pi 1 0.155. So you can calculate it. Power P is equal to 530 Newton, and the torque required to overcome friction at the screw T1 is equal to P into D by 2. Substitute in the values. P is equal to 530 into cap small d equal to 46 by 2, that equal to 12,190 Newton millimeter. So we know that the main radius of the collar, so R is equal to R1 plus R2 by 2. So substitute the value 65 plus 27.5 by 2, that equal to 41.25 mm. Assuming uniform wear, the torque required to overcome friction at collar T2 is equal to mu2 into W into R, that equal to 0.12 into 2500 into 41.25. Finally, we are calculating that T2 is equal to 12,375 Newton mm. So therefore, the total torque required to overcome friction T is equal to T1 plus T2, that equal to 12,190 plus 12,375, that equal to 24,565 Newton millimeter. This will be converted to meter, Newton meter, that equal to 24.565 Newton meter. So we know that the power required to drive this screw T into omega, that equal to T into 2 pi into n by 60. So substitute in the values, that is equal to 24.565 into 2 into pi into 60 by 60, 30 by 60, that equal to 77 watts. 77 watts. This will be converted to kilowatt, 0.077 kilowatt, since omega equal to 2 pi n by 60. Next, the second one, the coefficient of efficiency of the lead screw. So we know that the torque required to drive the screw with no friction. So T naught is equal to W tan alpha into D by 2, that equal to 2500 into 0.055 into 46 by 2, that equal to 3163 Newton millimeter. So this will be converted to Newton meter. So 3.163 Newton meter. Find therefore the efficiency of the lead screw. Efficiency eta is equal to Tc by T naught by T, that is equal to 3.163 divided by 24.563, that is equal to 0.193. So say or 13%. So efficiency eta is equal to 13%. So next, stresses in the power screws. The power screw may be adequate strength to withstand axial load under the applied torque. The following types of stresses are induced in the screws. So what are the following stresses induced in the screws are direct tensile or compressive stresses due to an axial load. The direct stresses due to the axial load may be determined by the dividing the axial load W by the minimum cross-sectional area of the screw AC, that is area corresponding to minor or core diameter DC. Therefore, direct stress, tensile or compressive, that is called W by AC. So we can calculate the direct stress, tensile or compressive, called W by AC. There is only applicable when the axial load is compressive and the unsupported length of the screw between the load and the nut is short. But when the screw is axially loaded, in compression and the unsupported length of the screw between the load and the nut is too great, then the design must be based on the column theory, assuming suitable end conditions. In such case, the cross-sectional area corresponding to the core diameter may be obtained by using Rankine-Gordon formula or J.B. Johnson's formula. So according to this, so W sigma equal to AC into sigma y into 1 minus sigma y by 4c pi square into E by L by K whole square. Therefore, sigma c is equal to W by AC into 1 by 1 minus sigma y by 4c pi square E into L by K whole square, where WCR is equal to critical load, sigma y is equal to yield stress, L is equal to length of the screw, K is equal to least radius of gyration, C is equal to end fixity coefficient, E is equal to modulus of elasticity, and sigma c is equal to stresses induced due to load W. So next, second stress, total shear stress. Since the screw is subjected to a twisting moment, therefore the torsional shear stress is induced. It is obtained by considering the minimum cross section of the screw. So we know that the torque required from the screw T is equal to pi by 60 into tau into dc cube, or shear stress induced tau is equal to 16 into T by pi into dc cube. When the screw is subjected to both direct stresses and torsional shear stresses, then the design must be based on the maximum shear stresses theory, according to which maximum shear stress on the minor diameter section tau max is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma 1 or sigma t minus sigma c whole square plus 4 tau square. It may be noted that when the unsupported length of the screw is short, then the failure will take place when the maximum shear stresses is equal to the shear yield strength of the material. In case of the shear yield strength, tau y by equal to tau max into factor of safety. So next stress is shear stress due to axial load. shear stress due to axial load. The threads of the screw at the core are root diameter, and the threads of the nut at the major diameter may shear due to the axial load. So assuming that the load is uniformly distributed over the threads in contact, so we have shear stress for screws. Tau screw is equal to W by pi n dc into T, and shear stress per nut, tau nut is equal to W into pi into n into T naught into T, where W is equal to axial load on the screw, n is equal to number of threads in the engagement, dc is equal to core or root diameter of the screw, so d naught is equal to outside or major diameter of the nut or screw, and T is the thickness or width of the thread. So this is the third stress in the power screws. So next, fourth one, bearing stress pressure. Bearing pressure. In order to reduce wear of the screw and nut, the bearing pressure on the thread surface must be within the limit. In the design of power screws, the bearing pressure depends upon the material of the screw and nut, the relative velocity between the nut and screw, and the nature of lubrication. Assuming that the load is uniformly distributed over the thread is contact, the bearing pressure on the thread is given by, so by calculating the bearing pressure, so PB equal to W by pi by 4 into D naught square minus DC square into N, that is equal to pi into D into T into N. So where small d is the main diameter of the screw, T is the thickness or width of the screw is P by 2, and small n is the number of threads in contact with the nut. Therefore, height of the nut is equal to pitch of the thread, that is equal to H by P. Therefore, from the above expression, the height of the nut or length of the thread engagement of the screw and nut may be obtained. The following table shows the some limiting values of the bearing pressure. So we can see the table. So limiting values of the bearing pressure. So application of the screw material, safe bearing pressure in Newton per mm square, rubber speed at thread pitch, rubber speed at thread pitch diameter. So in this tabular column, in this table will be given in the Jaladdin data book, the page number 8.13, the threaded fastenings and the power screws. The tabular main heading is safe bearing pressure in power screws. So first we can, what is the application of the screw? Head pressure, screw jack, hosting screw, lead screw. So first coming to the head pressure, so the material screw is steel, nut is bronze, safe bearing pressure 7.5 to 24.5. And final the remark is low speed, well lubricated. Next coming to this jack, screw jack, the material screw is steel, nut is a cast iron, safe bearing pressure 12.6 to 17.5. So this remark is also low speed and not over 0.04 meter per second. So load speed less than 2.4 meter per minute. So this will be converted to meter per second. So 2.4 divided by 60, that is equal to 0.04 meter per second. Next, same screw jack, material of the screw is steel and material of the nut is a bronze. Safe bearing pressure 11.2 to 17.5. So low speed, not over 0.05 meter per second. So this table is given 0. Less than 3 meter per minute. So 3 meter per minute, 3 divided by 60, that equal to 0.05 meter per second. So in this tabular, you can see the tabular column in the PPT. So this table is given to the meter per minute and meter per mm square. So coming to the Jalad data book, tabular column is given to the meter per second and kg meganewton per meter square. The bearing pressure is meganewton per bearing meter square. So this will see the tabular column in the Jalad data book. So coming to the hoisting screw. So hoisting screw, the material is material of the screw is steel and the material of the nut is cast iron. The self-bearing pressure is 4.2 to 7.0. So this will remarkable is a medium speed. So this will be range wind 0.1 to 0.2 meter per second. For this tabular column, this will given to the 6 to 12 meter per minute. Next, go to the hoisting screw. So the material will change. The material of the screw is steel and the material of the nut is bronze. The safe bearing pressure is 5.6 to 9.8. So it will be rubbering speed is minimum speed and 6 to 12 mm, 6 to 12 meter per minute. So this will range to the 0.1 to 0.2 meter per second. So next last one, lead screw. So lead screw, the material of the lead screw is steel for the screw and nut is bronze. So the safe bearing pressure is 1.05 to 1.7. So the rubber speed of the pitch diameter is high speed is greater than 15 meter per minute. This will be converted to meter per second. 15 divided by 60, that is equal to 0.25 meter per second. So this is high speed. So this is the stresses in the power screw, limited values of the bearing pressure. We can see the various pressures and applications of the screws in different materials and safe bearing pressure in Newton per mm square. Let us start the problem. So let's start the problems on power screws. So first problem, a power screw having double started square thread of 25 mm nominal diameter and 5 mm pitch is acted upon by the axial load of 10 kN. The outer and inner diameter of the screw collar is 50 and 20 mm respectively. The coefficient of friction between the collar friction may be assumed as 0.25 and 0.15 respectively. The screw rotates at 12 rpm, assuming uniform wear condition at the collar and allowable thread bearing pressure of 5.8 Newton per mm square. So determine the find the torque required to the rotate the stresses in the screw. Next final, the number of threads of nut in engaged with screw. So let us start the problem. First of all, you can note down the given data. So given D naught is equal to 25 mm, pitch P is equal to 5, W equal to 10 kilonewton, that is equal to 10 into 10 power 10 cube Newton. Capital D1 equal to 50 mm, or R1 is equal to 25 mm, D2 is equal to 20 mm, or R2 is equal to 10 mm. So mu is equal to tan pi equal to 0.2, mu1 is equal to 0.5, n is equal to 12 rpm, Pb is equal to 5.8 Newton meter mm square. So first we can calculate the torque required to rotate the screw. So the torque required to rotate the screw. So we know that the mean diameter of the screw D is equal to D naught minus p by 2. So we know that the mean diameter of the screw d is equal to d naught minus p by 2. So we can calculate the value 25 minus 5 by 2, that is equal to 22.5 mm. Since the screw is a double start square threaded screw, therefore the lead of the screw is 2p, that is equal to 2 into 5 equal to 10 mm. Therefore tan alpha is equal to lead by pi d, that is equal to 10 by pi into 22.5, that is equal to 0.1414. So we know that the tangential force required at the centric circumference of the screw P is equal to W tan alpha plus theta. So W tan alpha plus pi, that is equal to W into tan alpha plus tan pi by 1 minus tan alpha into tan pi, that is equal to W 10 into 10 cube tan alpha 0.1414 plus tan pi 0.2 by 1 minus 0.1414 into 0.2, that is equal power P is equal to 3513 Newton. And the mean radius of the screw collar, so R is equal to R1 plus R2 by 2. The mean radius of the screw collar R is equal to R1 plus R2 by 2. Substitute the values. R1 is equal to 25 plus R2 equal to 10, that is equal to 35 by 2, that is equal to 17.5. So therefore the torque required to the rotate of the screw T is equal to P into D by 2 plus mu1 WR, that equals, substitute the values 3513 into 22.5 by 2 plus 0.15 into 10 power 3 into 17.5 Newton mm. So we can calculate the value T is equal to 65,771 Newton millimeter, that equals 65.771 Newton meter. So next we can calculate the stresses in the screw. So we know that the inner diameter or core diameter of the screw, so DC is equal to D naught minus P, that equal to 25 minus P equal to 20 mm. Therefore corresponding cross sectional area of the screw AC is equal to pi by 4 DC square, that is equal to pi by 4 into 20 whole square, that is equal to 314.2 millimeter square. So we know that the direct stress sigma C is equal to W by AC, that is equal to 10 into 10 cube by 314.2, that is equal to 31.83 Newton per mm square. And the shear stress tau is equal to 16 into T by pi into DC cube. So substitute the values, that is equal to 16 into 65,771 by pi into 20 whole cube. So we can calculate in tau is equal to 41.86 Newton per mm square. So we know that the maximum shear stresses in the screw tau max is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma c whole square plus 4 tau square, that is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of 31.83 whole square plus 4 into 41.86 whole square. So finally we can calculate the tau max is equal to 44.8 Newton per mm square, that is equal to 44.8 megapascals. So next third one. So number of threads of nut is engagement with screws. Let n equal to number of thread of the nut in engagement with screw, and T is equal to thickness of the thread equal to P by 2, that equal to 5 by 2, 2.5 mm. So we know that the bearing pressure of the thread PB equal to 5.8 into W into pi d into T into N, that equal to 10 into 10 cube by pi into 22.5 into 2.5 into N, that equal to 556.6 by N. Therefore, n is equal to 56.6 divided by 5.8. So this will be calculating n is equal to 9.76. This will be rounded to 10. So therefore, number of threaded in the engagement with the screw n is equal to 10 10 threads. So next problem. The screw of a shaft straightener exits a load of 30 kilonewton as shown in the figure. The screw is square threaded of outside diameter 75 mm and 60 mm pitch. So determine the force required at the rim of 300 mm diameter hand wheel, assuming the coefficient of friction of the thread is 0.12. Maximum compressive stresses in the screw, bearing pressure on the thread and maximum shear stress in thread, and efficiency of the straightener. So for using the given data, the above problem, given W equal to 30 kilonewton, that equal to 30 into 10 cube newton, D naught outside diameter, D naught is equal to 75 mm, and pitch P equal to 6 mm, capital D is equal to 300 mm, quotient of friction mu is equal to tan pi equal to 0.12. So you can see the figure, the figure is already given to the problem. So all dimensions are in mm. So this is the nut screw head wheel. The distance between the P is the distance between ground to the end. The distance between the center line to the arrow mark is 150, and it is for this problem is given to the this diagram is given to the problem. The first one, you can calculate the force required the rim of hand wheel. Let P1 is equal to force required at the rim of hand wheel. So we know that the inner diameter core diameter of the screw DC is equal to D naught minus P, that is equal to 75.75 minus 6, that is equal to 69 mm. The mean diameter of the screw D is equal to D naught plus DC by 2, that is equal to 75 plus 69 by 2, that is equal to 72, and tan alpha equal to P into pi D. So 6 by pi into 72, tan alpha equal to 0.0265. Therefore, the torque required to overcome friction at the threads T is equal to P into D by 2. So substitute in the values P, since P is equal to W tan alpha plus pi. P is equal to W tan alpha plus pi. So W equal to tan alpha plus tan pi by 1 minus tan alpha tan pi into D by 2. So substituting the values, P W is equal to 30 into 10 cube into tan alpha 0.0265 plus tan pi 0.12 divided by 1 minus tan alpha 0.0265 into tan pi 0.12 into small d 72 by 2. So you can calculating the value. Total torque overcome the thread T is equal to 1,58,728 Newton millimeter. So we know that the torque required at the rim of hand wheel. Torque required at the rim of hand wheel T is equal to 1,58,728, that equal to P1 into D by 2, that equal to P1 into 300 divided by 2, that equal to 150 into P1. So therefore we can calculate in the P1 equal to 1,58,728 divided by 150, that equal to 1058 newtons. Therefore the power P1 is equal to 1058 newtons. So next you can calculate the maximum compressive stresses in the screw. So we know that the maximum compressive stresses in the screw sigma C is equal to W by AC, equal to W by pi by 4 into DC. So area equal to pi by 4 into d square. So that's how you can calculate in the compressive stress. So AC is equal to pi by 4 into dc square. Substitute in the values. That equal to 30 into 10 cube by pi by 4 into 69 whole square. That equal to 8.02 Newton per mm square. So that equal to sigma C is equal to 8.08 megapascals. So next we can calculate the bearing pressure on the threads. So we know that the number of threads in the contact with the nut, n is equal to height of the nut by pitch of the thread, that equal to 150 divided by 6, that equal to n is equal to, finally you can calculate in the value, n is equal to 25 threads, and the thickness of the threads T is equal to P by 2, that is equal to 6 by 2 equal to 3. So total thickness of the thread T is equal to 3 mm. So we know that the bearing pressure of the thread Pb is equal to W by pi into D into T into N. Let's substitute the values 30 into 10 cube by pi into 72 into 3 into 25. So Pb, bearing pressure Pb is equal to 1.77 Newton mm square. So next you can calculate the maximum shear stresses in the thread. So we know that the shear stress of the thread tau is equal to 16 T by pi into dc cube. So substituting the values in the above equation, that is equal to 16 into 1,58,728 by pi into dc 69 whole cube, that is equal to tau 2.46 Newton per mm square. Therefore maximum shear stress in the thread tau max is equal to 1 by 2 into sigma square root 1 by 2 into square root of sigma c whole square plus 4 tau square. That is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of 8.08 whole square plus 4 into 2.46 whole square. So you can calculating tau max is equal to 4.7 Newton per mm square, that equal 4.7 megapascals. So this maximum shear stresses in the thread, these two formulas will be given in the Jalaluddin data book. So 16 into T by pi into dc cube, maximum principles in the square thread, tau max is equal 1 by 2 into square root of sigma c whole square plus 4 tau square. So these formulas will be given in the Jalaluddin data book. And finally last, bearing pressure P is equal to W into N pi dt. So this formula is also given in the Jalaluddin data book. So you can see the Jalaluddin data book, the entire all problems will be given in the data book. From small notations will be changed from the slides and class 2 and data book. So this one is same, all equal to the notations are equal to the same, and we can calculate the problems also. So next you can calculate the efficiency of the straightener. The efficiency of the straightener, we know that the torque required with the no friction T naught is equal to W into tan alpha by tan alpha into D by 2. So substitute the values, T naught is equal to W into tan alpha T naught is equal to W into tan alpha into D by 2, 30 into 10 cube into 0.0265, then into 72 by 2. So finally we can calculate it, T naught is equal to 28,620 Newton mm. So finally we can calculate the efficiency of the straightener. So the efficiency of the straightener eta is equal to T naught by T. So T naught by T, substitute the values. T naught 28,620 by 1,58,728. So efficiency eta is equal to 0.18 or 18%. So this is the problem. So next we can start the next problem. A slice jet weighing 18 kilonewton is raised and lowered by means of the square thread screw as shown in the figure. The frictional resistance induced by water pressure against the gate when it is in the lowest pressure of 4000 Newton. The outside diameter of the screw is 60 mm and pitch is 10 mm. The outside and inside diameter of the washer is 150 and 50 mm respectively. The coefficient of friction between the screw and nut is 0.1. For the washer and seat is 0.12. So find the maximum force to be exerted at the end of the level raising and lowering the gate, efficiency of the arrangement, the number of threads and height of the nut for allowable bearing pressure of 7 Newton per mm square. So this is the problem, but you can note down the given data. Given W1 is equal to 18 kilonewton, is equal to 18,000 Newton. Force F is equal to 4,000 Newton, D0 is equal to 60 mm, pitch P is equal to 10 mm, D1 is equal to 150 mm or R1 is equal to 75 mm, D2 is equal to 50 mm or R2 is equal to 25 mm. So mu equal to tan pi equal to 0.1, mu 1 is equal to 0.12, Pp equal to 7 Newton per mm square. So you can see the figure. A slice gate weighing machine raising the load by means of the square threaded screw. So square threaded, I have shown the figure. This is the square threaded screw. So this is a thrust washer. That is the force will apply to P1 applied to bottom of the downward. The height of the nut is height h. This is a square screw. So this will be rotated. The screw, the distance between the center distance between 1 meter and 1 meter. The load P1 and the load P1 is applied the distance between 1 meter and both sides of the screw. The distance between the inner diameter and the outer diameter D0 and DC, and outer diameter and DC the inner diameter. So let us start the problem. So first we can calculate the maximum force to be extended at the end of the level. Let P1 equal to maximum force extended at the each end of the level. So 1 meter is given to the problem that equal to 1000 mm long. So we know that the inner diameter or core diameter of the screw DC is equal to D0 minus P, that equal to 60 minus 10 equal to 50 mm. So next we can calculate the mean diameter of the screw. D is equal to D0 plus DC by 2, 60 plus 50 by 2, that equal to 110 equal to 55 mm. So small d equal to 55 mm, and final tan alpha is equal to P by pi d, that equal to 10 by pi into 55, 10 by pi into 55, that equal to 0.058. So for raising the gate, since the frictional resistance acts in the opposite direction to the motion of the screw, therefore for raising the gate the frictional resistance F will act downward. Therefore the total load acting on the screw W is equal to W1 plus F, that equal to 18,000 plus 4,000, that equal to 22,000 Newton, and the torque required to overcome the friction at the screw T1 is equal to P into D by 2, that equal to W into tan alpha plus pi into D by 2, equal to W into tan alpha plus tan pi by 1 minus tan alpha tan pi into D by 2. Next substitute the values, that equal to 22,000 into tan pi So tan alpha 0.058 plus tan pi 0.1 by 1 minus 0.058 to 0.1 into d by 55 by 2, that equals 96,148 Newton millimeter. So the mean radius of the washer R is equal to R1 plus R2 by 2, that equals 75 plus 25 by 2, that equal to 100. 100 by 2 that equal to 50 mm. Therefore the torque required to overcome the friction at the washer T2 is equal to W1 into mu1 into W into R, that equal to 0.12 into 22,000 into 50, that equal to 1,32,000 Newton millimeter. And the total torque required to overcome the friction, total torque P is equal to T1 plus T2, that equal to 96,148 plus 1,32,000, that equal to 2,28,148 Newton mm. So we know that the torque required at the end of the level P, that equal to 2,28,148 that equal to 2 into P1 into length of the level equal to 2P1 into 1000, that equal to 2000 P1. Finally you can calculate the P1 equal to 2,28,140 divided by 2000, that equal to 141.1 Newton. So next one you can calculate the for lowering the gate. Since the gate is being lowered, therefore the frictional resistance F will act upwards. Therefore the total load acting on the screw W equal to W1 minus F, equal to 18,000 minus 4,000, that equal to 14,000 Newton. So we know that the torque required to overcome friction at the screw T1 equal to P into D by 2, that is equal to W into tan alpha minus pi, tan pi minus alpha into D by 2. So substitute the values W into tan pi minus tan alpha by 1 plus tan pi tan alpha into D by 2. So W 14,000 tan alpha pi 0.1 minus tan alpha 0.055 by 1 plus tan pi 0.1 into tan alpha 0.058 into 55 by 2. So finally we can calculate T1 is equal to 16,077 Newton millimeter. And the torque required to overcome friction at the washer T2 is equal to mu1 W R, that equal to 0.12 into 14,000 into 50, that equal to 84,000 Newton millimeter. Therefore the torque required to overcome friction T is equal to T1 plus T2, that equal to 16,077 plus 84,000, that is equal to 1,77 Newton millimeter. So we know that the torque required at the end of the level T is equal to 1,77, that equal to 2P1 into 1000, that equal to 2000 P1, or P1 equal to 1,77 divided by 2000. So finally we can calculate the P1 is equal to 50.04 Newton. So next we can calculate the coefficient of efficiency of the arrangement. So we know that the torque required for raising the load with no friction T0 is equal to W tan alpha into D by 2, that equal to W 22,000 into 0.058 into small d 55 by 2, that equal to 35,090 Newton millimeter. Therefore efficiency of the arrangement eta is equal to T0 by T, that equal to 35,090 by 2,28,148 or 0.154. The efficiency eta is equal to 15.4%. So next you can calculate the number of threads and height of the nut. Let n is equal to number of threads in contact with the nut. Height h is equal to height of the nut equal to n into p, and p is equal to thickness of the thread equal to p by 2, that equal to 10 by 2 equal to 5 mm. So we know that the bearing pressure Pb So the bearing pressure PB equal to W into pi d into Tn. The bearing pressure of the thread screw of the nut. This formula is given to the Jalabin data book. PB is equal to W into N into pi into dt. So pressure P equal to 7 by W 22,000 divided by pi into 55 into 5 into N, 25.46 divided by N. So therefore N is equal to 25.46 divided by 7 equal to 3.64. This will be rounded to 4 threads. So finally N is equal to 4 threads and H is equal to N into P, that is equal to 4 into 10, 40 mm. So this is the problem. So next you can start the another problem. So this is the last one. The square, the screw as shown in the figure. So you can see the screw is operated by the torque applied to the lower end. So torque T is applied to the lower end of the screw. The nut is loaded and prevent from turning by guides. Assuming friction in the ball, friction in the bearing to be negligible, the screw is a triple start trapezoidal thread. The outside diameter of the screw is 45 mm and the pitch is 8 mm. The coefficient of friction of the thread is 0.15. Find load which can be raised by the torque of 40 Newton a meter, whether the screw is overhauling, and the average bearing pressure between the screw and nut thread surface. Next we can see the figure. The width of the thread is 50 mm. The weight W is applied downward. So the thread will be rotated to the operated torque applied. Next we can start the given data. Given D naught is equal to 48 meters. Pitch P is equal to 8 mm. Mu V is equal to tan alpha equal to 0.15. Capital T is equal to 40 Newton meter. This will be converted to Newton millimeter. 40,000 Newton millimeter. So next we can calculate the load which can be raised. Let W is equal to load which can be raised. So we know that the mean diameter of the screw D is equal to D naught minus P by 2. That is equal to 48 minus A by 2. So 8 by 2 is 4. 4. So D is equal to D naught minus P by 2 is equal to 48 minus 8 by 2 equal to 44 mm. Since the screw is a triple start, therefore the lead of the screw is 3P equal to 3 into 8, 3 8 by 24 mm. Therefore tan alpha is equal to lead by pi d, 24 divided by pi into 24, that is equal to 0.174. And which coefficient of friction mu1 equal to tan pi 1, that is equal to mu by cos beta, that is equal to 0.15 by cos 15, that is equal to 0.15 by 0.965. So finally calculating mu1 is equal to 0.155. Since the for trapezoidal thread 2 beta equal to 30 degrees, so we know that the torque required to raise the load T is equal to P into D by 2 equal to W into tan alpha plus pi into D by 2. That equal to W into tan alpha plus tan pi 1 by 1 minus tan alpha into tan pi 1 into D by 2. So that equal to substitute the values. W equal to 40,000 by 40,000 is equal to W into 0.174 plus 0.155 by 1 minus 0.174 into 0.155 into 44 divided by 2. Next we can calculate the value 7.436 watts. So substitute cross multiplication, we can calculate the W. Therefore W is equal to 40,000 divided by 7.436. Next we can calculate the value. W is equal to 5,380 newtons. So next we can calculate the whether the screw is overhauling. So we know that the torque required to lower the load, T is equal to W tan pi 1 minus alpha into d by 2. So we have discussed in article 17.9 that if pi 1 is less than alpha, then the torque raised to lower the load will be negligible. That is, the load will be start moving downward without the application of any torque. Such a condition is known as overhauling of the screw. In the pressure case, tan pi 1 equal to 0.155 and tan alpha equal to 0.174. Since pi 1 is the less than alpha, therefore the screw is overhanging. So next, third stage, average bearing pressure between the screw and nut thread surface. So we know that the height of the nut H is equal to N into P, that is equal to 50 mm. Therefore the number of threads in the constant, N is equal to H by P, that equals 50 by 8, that equals 6.25, and the thickness of the thread is T is equal to P by 2, that equals 8 by 2 equal to 4 mm. So we know that the average bearing pressure Pb is equal to W into pi into D into Te into N. This formula is given to the Jaladin data book. So W 5380 divided by pi into D 44 into T 4 into N 6.25. So this problem you can solve 1.56 Newton millimeter square. So this is the problems on square screws. So thank you.